GZM Shows and the creators of 6 Minutes are rolling out their newest audio adventure with the podcast Discovering Dad. A cautious single dad with a secret past and his rebellious kids embark on a thrilling quest complete with hidden treasure, villains, and a family curse. New episodes of Discovering Dad roll out weekly starting June 11th on Apple Podcasts. Follow the show so you never miss an episode, or listen early and ad-free as a GZM Shows subscriber. Go to gzmshows.com to learn more.
The thing that I fought tooth and nail to bring my son into is Dungeons and Dragons. That is the ultimate solution to parenthood.
I'm Alexis Ohanian. In my podcast, Business Dad, I'm hoping to open up the conversation about balancing careers and family. I talked to Rainn Wilson. I wanted to learn more about Rainn's advice to play D&D with your kids. Business Dad is available now, so be sure to listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
Formed in Hamilton, Ontario in '89, Headstones were an integral part of the 90s rock scene here in Canada, with constantly touring, and you heard them a lot on radio. They have a bunch of hit songs. Between 96 and 16, they were among the top 35 best-selling Canadian bands in Canada, which is super impressive when you consider that for a good portion of that time, they were on a hiatus between 2003 and 2011. During that time, members formed other bands. Singer Hugh Dillon became an accomplished actor. And when Headstones bassist Trent Carr was a guest in early 2017, they were close to putting out the album Little Army. Since then, they've released People Skills and just this year, Flight Risk. Now, Trent talked about being a comic book fan, making it as a band now versus then. He talked about touring and family, seeing the Osmonds for his first concert. Career highlights came up, and Trent talked about Headstones being at the forefront of the explosion of bands in the 90s. Listen to this.
It was cool. Like, when I look back on it now, it's like, yeah, we were a part of that. That was a fun, exciting time.
Hell yeah.
You think about how many other Canadian bands there are, and putting us in those categories. And it's funny, like back then we weren't really thought of as much of a part of that scene, actually. Like back when we were in it, we were sort of very underdog and on the outside, and like we weren't getting played on the mainstream cool radio stations. Like we weren't played on the Edge in Toronto very much. We weren't, that is a huge factor in becoming a bigger Canadian band. Actually, it's like one of the biggest stations in Canada, and. So, like back then, we felt way more on the outside, and I'd say underappreciated a bit. We definitely had our hardcore fans, but we didn't feel like we were a part of the elite Canadian music scene.
Right,
always
grinding, hustling all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were always. But it's cool when we have the reunion coming back. People are starting to talk to us as if we were that. And you go, yeah, well, that's cool that everyone's sort of giving us some respect now and all that. But well, it kind of really wasn't there before.
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies.
Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming, and death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Alexis Ohanian. You may know me as one of the co-founders of Reddit, but more recently, a large part of my identity is being a father to my 2 wonderful daughters. In my podcast, Business Dad, I'm hoping to open up the conversation about balancing careers and family. The one thing I constantly hear successful people say, without fail, is that they wish they'd spent more time with their kids. That's time no one can get back. So I decided to create Business Dad to engage in the conversation about how we're spending our time now, providing a forum for successful dads to share their joys and challenges of being a working parent. You'll get to hear from a wide range of business dads, from Rainn Wilson and Guy Raz to Todd Carmichael and Shane Battier. And while this podcast will talk about business and will definitely be featuring dads, I think everyone can learn something from these incredible conversations as we unpack the expectations we all have about careers, relationships, and ourselves. Business Dad is available now, so be sure to listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.